this is totally out of my comfort zone, but I thought it would be fun to start up a YouTube series documenting my fitness journey, just some things and big goals I have going on this year. So I thought to start it off, I would do a get to know me, take a seat, do some cardio. First things first, I'm Cassie Enriquez. I was originally born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah, however have recently, as of almost 3 years ago, moved to Wilmington, North Carolina, and it's been a nice change of scenery. I'm a beach girl through and through, so it had always been a dream of mine to live on the beach, and the fact that I am just a 10-minute drive away is completely insane. I moved to Wilmington, North Carolina with my husband, and we are coming up on 3 years of marriage. We were actually high school sweethearts, so we met when we were 15, and we were just together ever since. We got married at 22. We're 25 now, and it's amazing. It's so fun living life with your best friend. So I am a fur mama to this sweet girl. I actually rescued her off the streets, which is so sad. Oh, she's the most sweet, lovable dog there is, and I've always been a dog lover. And the fact that we found each other just by chance is seriously amazing. You might see her in a couple of videos as well. I am a full-time online coach and have pursued personal training, and helping people has always been my passion. I actually was a competitive gymnast growing up, so that's what kind of dipped my feet into moving my body, staying fit, staying healthy altogether. And after I stopped doing gymnastics, which was my freshman year of high school, I decided to pick up a new hobby, which was weightlifting. I stumbled across some videos of me beginning my, health and fitness and working out journey, and it was just very humbling to see that I didn't quite know what I was doing, and that's okay. I actually hired a personal trainer. Honestly, the best decision of my life. I can honestly and confidently say it got me to where I am today, and I could not be more grateful in investing in that. And obviously, my trainer for giving me the ins and outs of all things health, fitness, personal training. It was great. I loved it. So as I started, following my own fitness journey, I was more tailored towards, yes, aesthetics was definitely a big part of it always, but I really leaned into strength. I loved hitting new PRs. I loved figuring out how my body moved, what exercises worked for it personally, just because everyone's different, and I fell in love with it. I had strength goals that I was hitting, and it was just so fun to see how strong, even as a female, I could be, and that was so empowering. I'll never forget the first time I hit 135 on bench, and I just progressed from there. It was incredible. After I dipped my toes into kind of the strength style of, training and things like that, I actually wanted to challenge myself a little bit more. And although those goals were so rewarding, I was like, I just need a little bit more. And I knew a couple people from high school and college that started doing bodybuilding competitions, and I was so intrigued. I wasn't the one to grow up thinking that's what I wanted to do. It was just all of a sudden I felt really drawn to it, and the trainer I had at the time referred me out to the now company and team that I'm with now, Team Fit Bliss, and working with my coach Carrie, she led me into my first ever bodybuilding prep. We pushed hard and we did a local show, and it was the best experience ever. Now, don't get me wrong, it was hard, it was challenging, all things a bodybuilding prep should be, but I fell in love instantly. We ended up taking a couple months to kind of just reverse and build a little bit more before deciding, well, let me just take a shot at the national level. And although I wasn't quite nationally standard, it was such an experience and something I truly felt that kept me in the sport long term. So that's how I got into bodybuilding, which is a big part of my life now and a lot of what I want to share through this series. Because when I was looking into a bodybuilding prep, my source was YouTube. I constantly looked at dozens and dozens of videos to kind of get a feel for what I was getting myself into. I had no idea what it took, what it was like. That was the first time I really started, tracking macros and like getting into the nitty-gritty of what a bodybuilding lifestyle is. And personally, I think it is good for me. I am a very routine, structure type A girly, so bodybuilding has something that's honestly felt really grounding, and it's just helped me stay super, structured and motivated. And I've always been a very hustler mentality person, but bodybuilding really pushed me out of my comfort zone in so many areas. So that's kind of my little spiel there, but it has honestly been one of the best experiences. And after I competed at my national show, I took a long year off to kind of just focus on life. I obviously needed to build. That was my feedback. And this was in the bikini division. So before Fit Model came out, I was competing almost 4 years ago in 2022 in the bikini division, and took a nice long year off. I was focused on getting married to my now husband, and we got married, we moved. It was a lot of life transitions, so I wasn't quite ready to jump into a prep yet. I still needed more time, so I was totally fine taking a step back and just focusing on life and building and all the things, which you will hear me say in future videos that building, taking time to build, and taking time for a proper off season is huge. Fast forward 2024, I go to do my second prep, and I was so excited. It had been 2 years at this point. I was so ready to get back on stage and just see what we have been building throughout the years. I was just so ready to give it my all, and we start prep come January, getting ready for a show in April, and things didn't go as planned. In January, I ended up getting diagnosed with a blood clot, which was caused by TOS, thoracic outlet syndrome, and I have had a blood clot before in my right arm, and that was back in 2020. I was 19 years old in school. That was during COVID. I went to the hospital and had to be by myself because, COVID, no one was allowed. Oh my gosh, it was this whole thing. So in January, when I got diagnosed with my second one, I was pretty familiar with the symptoms, but I was kind of just in denial. I was like, this isn't happening. It's fine, everything's gonna be fine. And lo and behold, whatever, I had a blood clot, and it was a little bit more serious this time, just with the fact that this had happened for the second time. How many more times is this gonna keep happening before we need to do something about it? So the decision was made to remove my first rib, which, if you can see here, I have a nice little cutie scar from that experience. And they basically went in, they had to remove my first rib and also take a vein from my leg to patch and repair up here. It's crazy. It's so wild, and I could do a whole other video on my experience with that. But it basically made me stop prep, take a pause on the sport in general. I couldn't really work out my upper body. Obviously, it had just been red, throbbing, swollen, all the things. So I couldn't really work out my upper body. Post-surgery, same thing. I was so tight up through this area. It took me about a month to get my full range of motion. And you know, when I got cleared to do light exercise and things like that, I just basically put my time and efforts into doing lower body movements and really focusing on that. Like if I could do something, I would do it, right? Because I still had these goals. I still wanted to, you know, work towards that. I really didn't want to let this set me back too far. So worked on that, slowly worked my upper body training back into my schedule. And I will say since then, I haven't really pushed things too much just because I'm more conservative. I'm a little bit more, you know, to me, it's just not worth going through something like that again. So I kind of took a pause on those strength goals. I was really into benching. I got up to 165 at some point, was shoulder pressing 50s. Like I felt so strong and it was great. It was good. Upper body was my favorite thing to train. And I just kind of had to take a step back, you know, for obvious reasons. And I'm okay with that. 2025, last year, we decided, okay, we're gonna give it a go. We're gonna do this again. Me and my coach have been like working together for so long up until this moment. We did a prep for bikini, and at this point, Fit Model was announced. It was announced. It was a thing that people started to talk about, and it was something that I wasn't quite on board with, if I'm being honest, right from the beginning, because I had been building for bikini, and you know, I got this suit ready for bikini, and I couldn't fulfill that bikini look in 2024 because of my surgery. So in my head, I was like, we're gonna do this, like, I got it, I've surely put muscle on, right? Like, I can do it. Up until my original bikini show date, I had a conversation with my coach and I was like, listen, like, I'm kind of thinking Fit Model just because of, as I started leaning out, we started realizing, okay, like, bikini might be a stretch. I don't doubt that at the regional level, I probably would have done well depending on who showed up, but nationally, especially because my goal since the very first show I did was a pro card, I had that honest conversation with myself and my genetic structure, my shape, and just where I was currently at, it all aligned with the Fit Model division. So about 2 to 3 weeks out, I decided to jump into a Fit Model competition at the Peach Classic in Georgia, which is such a fun show. I highly recommend. It was so fun being there with my team, and my coach was there, and it was my Fit Model debut. It was like something fun and exciting, and I really didn't know what to expect from it, but it was such a great experience. Feedback was beautiful look, like go to nationals. And junior nationals was just 2 weeks later, and me and my coach were like, well, we have to go. Like, I felt so good because I feel like I finally fit into a division that was working with me, that I could see being a really great, you know, potential as far as bodybuilding goes. Whereas bikini, I always had these doubts. Was I big enough? Was I lean enough? Like, I just didn't quite always feel super confident in the look that I was bringing. But with Fit Model, it just felt like everything worked in its favor. We go to junior nats, and I'm so excited at this point. Fit Model, there's only, I think prior, there was only 3 national shows up until that point. So I was really excited. I was nervous. I was like, I don't really know what to expect, but like, we're doing this. This is what I've been working all these years for, and I didn't have a setback to not see what we could do. And lo and behold, I won my pro card. Incredible. Like, I was over the moon. I was just in shock, and it was honestly one of the best days of my life, truly. And I couldn't obviously have done it without my coach, my team, all my support system, husband, my mom was there, all the beautiful ladies that were backstage. It was just such a fun experience. And one thing I love about the Fit Model community is how kind and positive everyone is. I've not run into one person who wasn't on your side. It truly feels like a community. And it's just so cool. Like stats wise, it's cool to say. I think I'm top 10 fit model girls, definitely in the States. I can't remember off the top of my head in the world, but definitely in those single digits for becoming a IFBB Fit Model Pro, which is incredible. It's a dream. It truly is. And I'm honestly just so excited to see where this division bodybuilding journey takes me, because one thing that I am getting ready for is my pro debut. So we are getting ready for that, and that's a big part why I wanted to start filming, documenting my series, because like I said, I loved and was so inspired by other people's bodybuilding journeys first starting out that I only want to provide a little bit of insight and inspiration to those thinking about joining the bodybuilding community, because it truly changed my life for the better. I wouldn't be here without it. We're going to see how my body responds and basically just like nail down a show date later down the road. But for now, we are just in prep mode. We are just getting ready. So that's what I'll be doing, is sharing a little bit more about, my prep journey to the pro stage, some meals, some workouts, and some motivational content, of course, because I want to see everyone do so well in their fitness and health journey, whatever that might be. I'm just excited to share it with you all. Anyways, if you have any ideas on what you want to see, please let me know. Otherwise, just stay tuned. Pro debut coming soon.